let's go over these answers really quick. So if we want the coordinates of the gas station, okay, that's on page 8 in your book. So the gas station would be at 4-4. The animal shelter would be at 6, -2. And the stadium would be at -2-3. Okay. The chief of police is planning emergency routes. She needs to find the shortest driving route between the following pairs of locations. So for number 1, give the precise directions. We're going to do number 1 in purple. Give precise directions for an emergency car route for each pair. So if I'm at the police station and I need to get to City Hall, somebody could just tell me go north 4 blocks. That would get me from the police station to City Hall. Okay? Pair 2 is the hospital to City Hall. So for this one, you could either tell me to go north 4 blocks, then east 6 blocks, or you could tell me to go east 6 blocks and then north 4 blocks. So these two could be switched around. Okay, from the hospital to the art museum, you're going to go north 5 blocks, and then east 12 blocks. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're giving the vertical information in each one, and we're also giving the horizontal information. So if we give the vertical and the horizontal, and we add those two together, that's going to give us number 2. Find the total distance in blocks a police car following your route would travel. So if we add together, we'll do number 2 in red. Okay, so if we add together the vertical with the horizontal here, well, there is no horizontal here, so this one is just 4 blocks. Okay, on this one we have north 4 blocks, east 6 blocks, so altogether we're traveling 10 blocks. Okay, and then here, north 5 blocks, then east 12 blocks, that would be 17 blocks altogether. Okay. C is a little bit tricky. A lot of people had problems with this one. So let's say that you know the coordinates of 2 landmarks in Euclid, but we don't have a map. So how can you determine the shortest driving distance between them? So what you would do is you would subtract your x's in each coordinate, okay, and then make it positive. Make your answer positive. Okay? Then what you would do is you would subtract the x's, subtract the y's, and make them positive. Now, a lot of people had a question about why we would make these answers positive. So the reason that we make them positive is because it doesn't make sense to talk about distance with negative numbers. So if I say my house is 22 miles from school, I wouldn't then say, well, school is negative 22 miles from my house. It doesn't matter which way you're going, if you're going from your house to school or from school to your house, it's the same distance. And it doesn't really make sense to tell somebody that the distance is negative numbers, okay? So once we subtract the x's and make the answer positive, and subtract the y's and make the answer positive, then we add the 2 numbers together. Okay. All right, a helicopter can travel directly from one point to another. For each point in question B, find the total distance in blocks a helicopter would have to travel to get from the starting location to the ending location, and you could use a centimeter ruler. So for pair 1, we'll do this in a different color. We'll do this in blue. So for pair 1, I believe we found that it was 7 blocks. So remember that each centimeter represents 1 block, so if you get 7 centimeters, it would be 7 blocks. Pair 2, you're going from the hospital to City Hall, and I believe that one was 8 blocks. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Pair 1 is the police station. Police station to City Hall. That's a straight line, so that would just be 4 blocks. My mistake, I'm sorry. And then pair 2 would be 7 blocks from the hospital to City Hall. And then pair 3 is the hospital to the art museum, and that is 13 blocks. 13 centimeters represents 13 blocks. Now, will a direct helicopter route between 2 locations always be shorter than a car route? So some of the kids were confused about this today, but here's the answer. Okay? So think about if you're driving, you have to follow the road. Okay, so let's say that you're going from City Hall to the gas station. Okay? So if you're going from City Hall to the gas station, you can't drive through people's yards, right? You have to stay on the streets. But if you're a helicopter, you can fly from City Hall to the gas station in a straight line. Okay? Now there's this theorem, this rule in geometry that says, so this is called the hypotenuse. If you remember, a right triangle has a right angle in it, and the side that's opposite the right angle is called the hypotenuse. Okay? So the hypotenuse is always shorter than the sum of the 2 legs. And so these 2 sides over here are called legs. So if we add the 2 legs together of a triangle, it's always going to be longer than the hypotenuse, or the hypotenuse is always going to be shorter than the 2 legs added together. Okay? So to answer question number E, or question E, a direct helicopter route will always be shorter because the distance between the 2 points in a straight line is always going to be shorter than the 2 legs of the triangle. All right, so that's just the summarization. We talked a little bit about absolute value. So absolute value, that's basically a distance, okay? So absolute value is just asking you, okay, what is the distance of -7 to 0? And the answer would be 7 units, because we don't measure distance in negative numbers. And similarly, if we had what's the distance of 7 to 0, well, if we draw a number line, or if we count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is still 7 spaces from 0, just like -7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces from 0. They both have the same absolute value because they're both the same distance from 0. So that's all absolute value is asking. Absolute value does not mean opposite. That's one big misconception with absolute value. All right, so this is the homework problems from page 12, 1 through 7. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll send these as I'll post these as PDFs as well, so if you need to print them off, you can. If you have questions, let me know. Good luck, and see you soon.